My name is Jason Salyer, and I am about to embark on 1,100 miles of motorcycling. And it's going to be awesome. Me and a buddy are going to take it on, and we're pumped. But we've got a few last-minute things to take care of before we depart, and I'll take you along for the ride.
Barkbusters, Jason is going down.
More like liver savers, so I don't have to replace those things constantly.
Where's your... What do they call them? Stuff sacks?
I can't think of a possible reason why someone would call it that. I'm not taking any spare clothes. I'm just going to be stinky, I think. Sorry about that.
Man.
It's a good thing we're not doing the tent thing, right?
All I can say is stay away.
Well, does this need to be easy to access? What is this?
That's the coffee machine.
Oh, so yeah. So it needs the easy access?
Yeah, easy access.
Do I need a spare shirt and stuff? I mean, how civilized are we going to try to be?
I'm civilized, man.
Well, I got dry stuff to sleep in, which would be nice. But yeah, I mean, the thing about packing a motorcycle is you got to be a minimalist, right?
You gotta think.
You got to really plan it out.
You gotta think.
And this is going to evolve as we go because...
We'll know what we don't need.
Yeah. We'll know what we don't need for one, but we'll have things a little bit... The things that we need the most on top, you know, kind of deal. We're all loaded up. I think we're ready to go. Journey of 1,100 miles starts with starting her up, right?
Last I checked,
Let's
getting
party.
on.
Yeah, it's really ungraceful getting on the motorcycle. That was pretty good, actually. Gotta hike the pants up.
Hike the pants up.
Let's do it! Yeah, I would imagine anytime we pass it convenient, I would just get it.
Yeah. Let's do it right. Go ahead.
Let's do it.
Dirt squirt, beauty. Felt like I was on the track, man. 1.8.
Yeah, that's about right. 1.8 gallons. We've gone 67 miles on a twisty, curvy road. Sounds about right. we put in about 120 miles or so, 90-ish% off-road on gravel and dirt. The road was kind of a nice reprieve from bouncing around and having to pay real close attention so you don't crash.
No crashing.
No crashing. A couple of little bit of little sideways here and there, but nothing too crazy. But camp is here. Small little campground that we were fortunate to find, and it's dark, and we're gonna set up our hammocks and get settled in. I don't know how I'm gonna do this video, if I'm gonna break it up into segments or day 1, day 2, but if this is the end of the video, hit the thumbs up. See ya. Good morning. The start to day 2. It's gonna be great. Gregory's already got coffee going.
Pretty Joe coffee.
Yeah, that's right. Pretty Joe coffee, the best coffee in the world. Based in Miami, right?
My wife makes it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's got to be the best coffee.
It's got to be the best. It is actually really good. But anywho, starting day 2 with a cup of Joe. Gonna get a bite to eat. I'm gonna go with spicy Southwest style skillet.
Woo, baby.
It's gonna be pretty good. And then it's time to rock. So I crave adventure, and I liken it to kind of an itch that's difficult to scratch. The hard to reach itch that I can't quite get to other than by going on a new adventure and finding new experiences and challenging myself in new ways. And with adventure comes some inherent risks, and that's something that I'm willing to take on. There's potentially something, anything could happen. We could break down, run out of fuel, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Lots of different things could happen to us, and that's why we need to possess the proper equipment, the skills, the fitness to be able to get ourselves out of sticky situations. And one of the things that I want to talk about, and something that I found really interesting, I hadn't seen them before, are these straps. And Gregory introduced me to these things, and he's going to tell us a little bit about them.
It's called appropriated technology. It's actually Black Diamond makes these. They're I guess it's a proprietary material, but they're kind of a sticky, I'll call them silicone. I don't know if it's silicone or not, but they've got a lot of stretch, but it's a lot of force, unlike a bungee. The great thing about them is they stick almost anything to anything and hold it in tight. So these little fuel bottles, you can imagine how hard it is to strap a fuel bottle just to the outside or something. But these straps basically have enough flex that you can cinch them down. And then they have grip that will just grip just about anything. And you can be assured that your product is going to be securely fastened. So they're made for putting skis together when you're going mountaineering, but they work for almost anything.
Yeah, and I was watching you yesterday bounce around all on the bumpy dirt roads yesterday, and these things were jostling all over the place, and they didn't slip even a tiny bit. Nothing. And this gives us an extra, what, quart of fuel, something like that?
Well, for my little gas tank here.
Yeah. Gregory's gas tank is a gallon. Yeah, a gallon less than what I've got. So to bump him up a little bit closer to my capacity, to match the range that I can go, we've added a little bit of fuel. We had issues with the
very expensive Primus bottles. They leaked everywhere, so we got just cheap throwaways.
Yeah, these are just old aluminum ones that my uncle used to use on the oil fields for some reason. I'm not sure what he kept in them, but they don't leak at all, and they were free, so that's what we're rocking.
All the best.
Right of that log right there sticking in the water, maybe. I think we can make that.
All right.
What's the worst that could happen?
How are those waterproof boots working? Hang on.
Ready?
Hang on. Ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see how it's supposed to be done. See, he did a much better route. The great thing about waterproof boots is that they keep your feet dry until they don't, and then they keep them wet forever. They're only waterproof to a certain height.
Yeah, they all boots got that big hole in the top.
Yeah, the giant big leaky hole somewhere around mid shin. And out of the corner of my eye, I spotted something that we just had to stop at. The trouble with riding a motorcycle is you don't see the surroundings that much because you're trying not to die. So you don't take the time to really look around. But every now and then you gotta stop and see some sights and potentially take a bath. I think that's... That was good. So it's a good thing we brought extra fuel, right?
With a little dirt bike.
We've used one extra fuel can and now we're on the second, and hopefully we'll find gas before too long. Otherwise I'll be making a run. A gas run.
Plenty of fuel.
Yeah, should be fine. I switched to reserve about 7 miles ago.
How much you got, 20 miles?
I think I'll definitely make it to gas if it's that way. All right, so I'm making a fuel run.
Sorry, mate.
Hey, that's what the adventure is all about, right? Grippy, grippy, grippy. That'll be good. All right, man. I'll come back with gas.
Thanks, dude.
And that's hopefully enough to get us to a gas station.
Well, that's probably enough to get me like
10 miles?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll make it work. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. I'm basically a hero. We got it.
I made you a present. A sharp, pointy stick.
Thanks,
You gotta
man.
love those.
That's really nice. I'll cherish it forever.
How far away were it?
We've got 8 miles.
Oh.
I think we can do it.
Okay, Jason, say a few words.
We made it to Maggie Valley.
Mile high.
Mile high. It's definitely cooled off a lot.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. A little bit late, it's a little after 8. Took us a while to find some place to camp, but we found a pretty awesome spot. Rode approximately 270 miles today, something like that, and my butt
It's sore.
it feels good. But we gotta hustle up and get camp set up before we get started. Yeah, and I'm definitely taking a bath. Gregory smells terrible.
Yeah.
So, but set up camp pretty quick before it gets dark, and most likely see you in the morning.
Good morning. Just giving you a shot of our camp for the night.
Oh, look who's up. Sleep all right? No bears bothering you? So what's on the agenda today?
Let's do it. Let's party. Let's eat.
Let's eat. Coffee time. Coffee time. Just to give you a shot of this beautiful camp spot. First thing in the morning. Come on, man.
Or just dripping?
It was rain and all that. Bears came.
Bears.
Chipmunks were all climbing all over your gear.
Chipmunks. Those are the worst.
Possum was eating your food.
It's morning of day 3, 2, 3. We're gonna make some coffee and get going. It's pretty good last night. I slept like a rock. How about you?
You slept like a bear, man. I heard you snoring
I
over
mean,
there.
I was out. I slept so good. Next to
You
the
got your little
creek.
hammock set up, nice little.
A little bit chilly, but otherwise good. So last night it was a little bit chilly, and I forgot to put on my fresh, dry socks, and I couldn't figure out where they were. And this morning I found them laying in the creek. So thinking ahead and bringing some fresh socks, because I thought it would be nice to have some freshies. It's not so good. Yeah. My boots are falling apart.
Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose.
So we got some Gorilla Tape here. Hopefully we can fix my boots up to make them operational. And the annoying thing is I just had these repaired and re-glued by a professional boot repairman.
He didn't have Gorilla Tape.
He did not use the appropriate Gorilla Tape. Whoops!
Got that on film?
I'm glad the camera was on.
It's off.
Cause usually, no, it was on. Usually when you crash, it's off, right? See if I can get my leg back on.
Do over.
Mulligan. My chain seems to be loosening up. It's got a little bit too much slap going on. Let's see if I can see that. Too much slap on when I'm riding. I can hear it flopping around. So I think we're going to snug it up a bit just to avoid any issues. And when we're talking about preparedness, being prepared on an adventure like this, we need to make sure that we're ready for the most likely scenario, and that's going to be a mechanical breakdown. And in order to perhaps potentially fix any of the mechanical issues that we might have, we've got a pretty comprehensive kit, and it's not everything that you'd want to bring, but when you're riding a motorcycle, you've got to really be conscious of weight and bulk, because strapping a bunch of gear on a motorcycle like that, on a lightweight motorcycle, really affects how it handles and how it rides, and you don't want stuff piled on there too heavy. So Greg, you want to tell us a little bit about what we brought?
What we've done is we've obviously got a Japanese bike and a European bike, so we had a little bit of a double up of some things, but we've got
stupid KTM,
basically a series of wrenches. We've got some of these lightweight titanium wrenches. We've got a wheel wrench in the back, an adjustable wrench or a crescent wrench. We've got a pair of pliers, and then this is fixing flat, so these are a couple of
tire spoons there.
Tire irons.
Yeah.
We've got some electrical stuff in here, and then this is all the, trying to make kind of the MacGyver repairs. So we've got high temp gasket seals. We've got JB Weld, which is, you just do about anything with that. Loctite, keep things sorted out. And then over here, we've got torque wrench, because all these lightweight bikes have, we've got some spare inline fuel filters, plug wrenches, socket set, and then over here we've got zip ties and mechanical connections.
Cool.
Couple inner tubes, keep in
Spare
mind.
tubes, yeah.
We've got different sized tires, so we've got 18, a 21, and there's another tire tube sitting around.
A 17 that's in there for my bike.
And then we've got a little 12-volt pump.
Yeah, how's that hook up?
So that basically is just a standard little outlet like that. We've got it wired into the battery. And
so when the bike's running, we can operate get some power and pump up
so
the tires.
even when
it's not running, I guess.
So that's that, and that cuts the time down quite a bit. And then in here we've got a spare battery charger for a lot of the stuff in the little saddlebag electronics and stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about the navigation stuff later and electronic stuff.
But this helps you when you have to air up or air down on terrain. If you don't have a pump, you're not going to do it. So I think it's probably part of a safety issue. It gives you some more life to the tires as well. Now we got to fix.
And then we also got some jumper cables here, basically.
Yeah.
So we can jump start one bike off of the other with that same hookup. Cool. Is that pretty much it?
I think that's it.
All right. So now we gotta tighten up my chain. Should be pretty simple.
Back to work.
Yeah. Get it?
It's like kickstarting a bike.
That's right. That's better.
Just enough.
Just right. Okay.
Don't want it too tight, otherwise it wears the chain.
I got it. So graceful. just go. I just turned on the camera too. So it's freaking hot, and every chance we find, every time we get a chance to take a dip and cool off, that's what we do. But we've got two different hydration strategies. I drink a whole bunch in the morning. I'm gonna have to pee a lot, which is not so convenient. Yeah, Gregory doesn't drink anything at all, but he's got a Camelback kind of water bladder on a backpack system, so that works pretty good. But I mean, I'm not dehydrated or anything. I feel pretty good just doing it this way. I drink at least one of these bottles, 24 ounces of water in the morning, and then somewhere around midday do the same thing, and then in the evening I'll get a little bit more, just not too much, so I don't have to get out of my hammock in the middle of the night and pee. But yeah, it's time to take a dip.
What's the problem, Jason?
So we've got engine issues. Engine stalled as if it was running out of gas, which it definitely was not. We just filled up. Switched it over to reserve. Thought maybe that might have fixed the problem. Maybe it was a petcock problem or something. But now I'm thinking it's junk in the carburetor. We drained the whole tank, thinking maybe we had bad gas. That didn't fix it. But I think I've got some junk in maybe one of the jets, and it's causing it to die on me when I'm getting on it. So we're going to take the carburetor off and clean it. And hopefully that fixes it and we're back in action. So we took the carburetor apart and gave it some squirts with this stuff here. And that seemed to be the ticket. I took it up the road and pegged it out full throttle, got it up to like 80 miles an hour, and it wasn't missing. It's doing good, running good. So got ourselves a cold drink, and we're
drive safe and responsible.
That's right. So drinking responsibly, and we'll be back on the road hopefully once I get these saddlebags back on. So good news.
The boots.
Oh yeah, and this is my.
Make up some speed.
The most expensive boots in the world are now improved, enhanced with duct tape. So I'm gonna pick up at least a couple miles per hour. Good luck keeping up. So we're at looks like 573 total. I don't know how far we rode today. At least 100, right?
Oh, at least 100.
Yeah, not real sure. The breakdown.
Well, we were at what's the? No, I don't. Yeah, I think it's at least 100.
Yeah, the breakdown costs us a little bit of time, but not too bad. So we found a nice camp spot. Probably can't see it with this. No, you can't. But that's it. Right?
That's it.
Cool.
Get a fire going first.
Napalm tinder. Now I'm all about rubbing sticks together, but after riding all day and sometimes it's nice.
Everything's wet.
Everything's super wet, so sometimes it's just nice to get a fire going. But so we're gonna try some of this napalm tinder. I think I've used this stuff before, but I can't remember. If I remember right, just pull off a little disc, a little wafer kind of deal. Try one underneath it. Top one might just be boogered up a bit. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's a round disc.
Got it.
Real flammable. You could fuzz it up and light it with a ferro rod, but we're just going to use a lighter because
we got those.
Because we got that. Got a little birchy bark. Some trash left here from the last camper. And a very pink lighter.
Ooh, that's
my favorite
beautiful
color of lighter. Real men use pink lighters. And it's as easy as that. The birch probably could have got the fire going.
Yeah, the birch
bark
would have just done.
Yeah. But it was pretty wet. Even had wet moss on it.
Guess there's enough fuel in there that it just keeps it ignited, huh?
Yeah. That seemed to work pretty good. And it looks like it's going to burn for a long time, so it'll dry out all this wet, soggy stuff. Good morning. It is the start of day 4, I believe. Yeah, start of day 4. We're going to get started. We're at 573 miles starting out today. We're going to knock out another 150, 200, something like that. We'll see where we end up. And we've got fresh clothes on today. It's about halfway through the trip, and putting on a fresh undies, fresh undershirt, fresh underwear, and fresh socks. It's going to be a good feeling, although my boots are still terribly wet and very smelly. Now, as you guys know, I'm not really a gear guy. I don't go out and buy the latest and greatest shiny new thing. I've never impulse buy anything ever. And when I buy something, I expect it to produce. I expect it to work really well. And if I spend the kind of money on the quality products that I'm searching for, and it's disappointing for some reason, I get really, really frustrated, and I want to share that stuff with you. And if I find a product that I spend good quality money on and it works really well, I want to share that with you too, so you know, and you don't have to waste your time and money. And this is a product that I 100% fully endorse and put my stamp of approval on. This is a Grail water filter, a Grail GeoPress. And you could run over this thing with a truck. I mean, I haven't tested that, so don't hold me to that. But it is very, very durable. And I have drank out of some nasty, swampy waters with it and had no issues. Very, very easy to use. Very, very robust and durable. Not the smallest and most compact kind of water filter, but I think I'd give up small, light, and compact for durability and reliability. So if you want a really good quality water filter, this is the one. Yeah, I forgot to mention the other thing is that this is your water bottle as well. It holds 24 ounces of water. So you filter it, press this plunger down into it, and then you've got 24 ounces of water ready to go at any given time. And that's what I like about it, is you don't have to carry two separate things. You don't have to carry a filter and the bags and straws and all the little accoutrements that come along with water filters. This is it. One-stop shop, water bottle and filter, ready to rock. All right. Day 4. Here we go.
But they have a church right over there and a cemetery there, and
You keep it looking.
and I keep
tidy.
that up and stuff. Just to
Gotta keep busy.
service the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh no, we're glad that to be of help or whatever.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, we get 6 flat tires up here.
I'm in.
That time.
Navigating this these routes that we're taking is a little bit of a chore. Thankfully, Gregory has painstakingly plotted out all of our course on his phone on an app called GAIA GPS, and it's pretty handy and it seems to be working pretty well so far. A little bit tricky trying to read maps and things while you're riding a motorcycle, as you could probably understand, but otherwise it's working pretty good, and he's got a good setup here, and we'll let him talk about that.
So what we did is just put on a little tank bag. It's got a little waterproof pouch. It's plugged in. It's just a normal cell phone, iPhone. I don't know if you can see that or not. The map comes up on that, and we're just following the overlay on the topographical maps.
Yeah.
And that's Gaia GPS.
Yeah.
Great base maps.
And how are you charging that phone?
Well, obviously we've got that same thing that, remember before we had the charger.
Yep.
With a little pump for the tires that runs up here to a little bit of a USB 2-port thing, and that just goes on when the bike goes on, keeps it charged, and we leave the screen on all the time. I know you've got a backup set of maps on your phone.
Yep.
So we've got 2 sets, and typically we carry a printed copy. I printed them off, had them all organized, and you know what, they didn't make it in the bag. So we're just on 2 iPhones.
Yeah, I have a backup compass, you know, just in case, just to get general rough direction of get us close to the next town kind of deal. But yeah, that's how we're getting around, and it seems to be working pretty good.
And I think the other thing, that software doesn't need cell phone signal.
Yeah.
So we don't have any service the whole way.
Almost
and it's
ever,
still laying
yeah.
it out, and it's not running off, to my knowledge, off of GPS. So
Yeah.
it's working pretty well.
Yeah, so that's how we're getting around, finding our way on these back roads that no one ever knew existed. Stopped for a little dip, cooled off a little bit because it's a hot day, and then we're going to get back on the road. Yeah, I'm chilly now. Scalding hot earlier today, now I'm freezing.
How unstable is this getting?
It's going, the front of the bike's going woo, 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 woo. Not like crazy, but it's definitely noticeable.
So you know what's happening? That woo, you're probably gonna find that you've got a place that the woo, rather than the woo.
Yeah.
Is
The woo.
it's probably lower.
Yeah.
And it's
Like a flat spot kind of.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely,
I mean,
it's not good. It's not good. It's wearing really weird. I don't have that. I don't.
Like
So we're at 816 total, and that's about 240 miles. So that was a big day, and we're gonna call it an evening. We started at 820 miles, I think is what was on the odometer. We're gonna get a little fine victuals in us this morning and some coffee. So it's gonna start the day off right.
let's go. Do it.
All right, 16 cups of coffee. We'll stop at about 16 miles.
Feel it. Feel it.
So there's been several instances of this happening where the roads have been closed because of COVID-19 for some reason. All of the campgrounds or camping sites that we've passed on this road so far have been blocked off and shut down because camping transmits COVID-19, clearly. So
Definitely, this road is a real problem.
this road is just chock full of COVID-19. You'd catch it. I'm a little bit nervous just waiting in front of this gate.
Yeah.
We should probably get out of here. But that's why it's good to have a GPS unit like so we can potentially find a
We're
way
gonna
to navigate
backtrack.
around this.
Head over to 280, come around down 280, and then we'll catch back up at Davidson River Campground and back up onto the same trail that we're trying to get through. Hopefully it's open up top there.
Yeah, the annoying thing is we're trying to avoid pavement because I much more enjoyed riding on the dirt roads and stuff, but sometimes we got to get on pavement to get to the next piece of dirt, and I guess that's what we're doing. I've got some really weird tire wear going on my front tire. Some of the knobbies are wearing out really fast and others are not really wearing at all. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but the tire's a little bit soft, which I kind of like when I'm riding on dirt roads and stuff because to absorb the impacts of big rocks and ruts and stuff. But it's riding weird. It's starting to affect how it's on the road. I can feel it going whoa, 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 and get like some up and down stuff going on. Maybe there's a flat spot forming in the tire. So maybe if I put a little bit of air in it, it'll maybe will alleviate that issue a bit. We'll see. But this little pump is super, super handy. Gregory hooked me up with this little hookup that just goes right on the battery terminals. And so you can easily plug in, you can jump off the other bike or plug in your pump. And it's fantastic. Gregory's the most generous man that I know. By far. By far. I've tried to model my behavior after his. So I had to turn around to get a shot of this mailbox. It's the coolest one I've ever seen in my life. What gauge do you think that is?
Ooh. That's a howitzer.
Yeah.
See anything.
Oh, no. That was terrifying.
I was following you. I was hoping you were on the right line.
I can hardly see out of my goggles at all. My feet are soaked.
Huh?
Soaked are my feet. Completely. I got a puddle in my toe.
Oh.
I feel it sloshing around.
We need the next gas station. I'm gonna get some of that Rain-X. I literally was looking down at the thing. I couldn't see anything on them.
Rain, motorcycles, wet roads. What could go wrong?
I can't even begin to tell you how frustrated I am right now.
I get it. We're all right. You can't see. It's raining. We'll find it.
I don't even know where I didn't make the turn. I wasn't
That was fun. All right, how we doing? Check in.
Awesome. My navigation skills with blind as a bat sight.
I tell you, next time I'm in charge of navigation, and you can just go along for the ride and not have to worry about it, because that is frustrating, I imagine. So anyway, look, I'm laughing at Gregory at his expense 100% as he gets frustrated navigating. Last night's funny. I had this really funny dream when I was laying in my hammock last night. I dreamed that Gregory was showing me this pack, this dry bag designed for motorcycle riding that you could strap on the back of your bike. It was this, dry bag that he claimed that you could fit a full week's worth of gear, everything that you needed in this bag, right? And he handed it over to me, and I was like, "Oh, it looks great. It looks great." And he goes, "What do you think?" And I say, "It's awesome, man. I really like the bag." And I was looking at the cup holder, little water bottle holder on the side. And I said, the only thing I would do is I would change a little bit. I'd put a strap there, like maybe some sort of little bungee, some sort of little strap to keep the water bottle from falling out. And in the dream, it broke his heart because he said he'd been working on it for so long and he was just devastated.
Oh. The littlest things really get in my craw.
Yeah, that's right.
Make your own damn pack. Oh, when the itch is there, you gotta scratch it.
Just working some kinks out, right? Just working a few knots out.
Chiropractic road style.
That's right. So when preparing for a trip like this, you're always trying to think ahead of what's going to happen. What do you need to be prepared for? We've got shelter, we brought food, we've got spare parts and tools and things to fix a mechanical breakdown. But a very likely scenario is that one of us lays down one of these bikes. I mean, especially me, because I'm not that great of a rider. So if I was to lay this thing down, I might need to tend to some injuries, or Gregory might need to tend to some of my injuries. And in order to do that, you need some sort of first aid kit. And I keep it right here on top at an easy access spot on my bike in my pack. And both of us, me and Gregory, know where this is, so we can access it depending on who might need it. And in this kit, it's pretty comprehensive. I mean, considering that we've got to minimize how much we're carrying, because we just don't have a lot of space and don't have a lot of room. Don't have a lot of room for heavy things. We've got to kind of cut it down to just a small pack like this. And in here, we've got basically, I mean, you know, it's a first aid kit, but it's got a Mylar blanket if someone's going into shock because of a lot of pain and injury, something like that. Cover them up, keep them warm. Base chest seal if some puncture wounds in the chest, God forbid something like that happens, but we've got that. And what is this, Greg? Are you bad?
That's all meds, yeah.
Yeah, medication stuff.
So codeine, some prescription stuff for pain.
Yeah, so bad pain stuff, yeah, if that goes down. We've got an Israeli bandage here for bad cuts, things like that. If we were to go down on a fence or something like that, could really mess you up. Basic boo-boo stuff, some gauze, Band-Aids, a few, what do you call them, butterfly sutures? Small cuts like that might need to get stitched up later. A nasal airway. So if we need to open something up, we're having
ABC.
That's right. If we can't get an airway open, this can aid with that. And by the way, I've been trained in first aid. Used to be a certified lifeguard and all that kind of stuff. And I know Gregory's taught some of that as well. Wilderness kind of first aid and survival. So we've got some skills to back it up. It's not just a bunch of kit that we don't really know how to use. Irrigation syringe, cleaning out wounds. If you go down on an elbow or something, yeah, getting gravel out of wounds is definite a possibility. So this actually came with a Sawyer Mini filtration system to back flush the filter, but it works really, really good to irrigate wounds. Extra gauze. Some more medications. I think that's ibuprofen and what's the one that gets rid of diarrhea?
Motrin? No,
it's pain. Anyway, something to help if you get some runs going on, because the runs on a motorcycle is real bad. While camping, it's bad, but on a motorcycle, it's really, really, really bad. More gauze, an extra lighter because I put them everywhere. Some medical tape. And then I've got some ointments here. This one's just an antibiotic, so to put in any cuts or scrapes that we might get, just to prevent infections. I'm not really a big believer in this kind of stuff. I typically just, lick my wounds and call it a day, but it wouldn't hurt to have it. And then some athlete's foot kind of stuff, because my feet have been soaked from my awesome boots.
These awesome boots.
My awesome boots. And if your feet stay wet for a long period of time, they get pretty nasty, get a little fungative, and it's good to get rid of some fungus that might be growing on it. And then lastly, in here, I have just some chapstick that can be used for all sorts of things.
And where do you keep your tourniquet?
Shoot, my tourniquet is in this pouch right here, the small one. It was in my pocket, but I took it out early on. Tourniquet's right here in this back pouch. Good thinking. And that's just a rat tourniquet. I can use a rat tourniquet because it's just easy to use, and it works on even minuscule, scrawny little arms like my kids. It can shrink down to nothing and still gets the job done. And a lot of the other tourniquets don't work on kids. And then just some shears to cut clothes off, and riding gear and armor and stuff like that might be in the way to get to an injury. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, so staying hydrated is also a big deal. If you get dehydrated while riding, we're sweating a lot. It's pretty hot right now. I'm sweating. We've been riding, and riding off-road is kind of an active process, and you generate a little bit of body heat, and you've got all this gear on, you're sweating, and if you don't stay hydrated, muscle cramps and things like that can occur. And if that happens while you're riding a motorcycle, that's not ideal for obvious reasons. And then hygiene, like I was talking about before, just taking care of your feet, making sure I take my boots off, drying them out every night, make sure that I'm taking care of that. And then in addition to that, in this little beaver tail pouch that I've got here, I've got my other just basic toiletries for all that a man needs to stay relatively clean. I got some TP, a toothbrush, toothpaste, and some wet wipes. I can give my entire body a pretty good wipe down with just about three wet wipes, and I can feel pretty good. It's amazing how good it feels just to kind of wipe yourself down a little bit and get the grime and dirt off from the dusty roads and stuff. So
Take advantage of the...
yeah, and we're also, every chance we get, we're taking a dip in the rivers when it's convenient. We hop in, take a bath essentially, get the dirt and grime off of our faces and bodies, and it feels pretty good. But that's pretty much it as far as first aid stuff. We are, how far further we have to go? We've gone 998 miles so far, and we've been riding for, this is day 5. So we've been riding for like 4.5 days, basically. We are gonna try to push till the end. We're gonna try to make it, go all the way home in this last day. We're gonna be riding into the dark, but I think we're both feeling pretty good, and we're gonna go for it. So my GoPro battery died, so I don't know if I caught any of that, but it was raining super hard. I couldn't see anything.
I was following you.
It was like a river in the road, and it was pouring it really, really hard. I am soaked completely to the... Oh, I mean, nothing on me's dry. My boots are buckets of water, but back on the road. Best trail yet.
Back in Georgia.
Woo!
That was the trail that they said was an alternate.
Got it.
So I guess they must push through that bridge.
That was awesome. That's cold.
Just choked.
Hold some,
It says it's coming through.
suck some water in.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I just got to the other side and it went through.
yeah, probably got a little bit of water. This is what happens when you want to go right, but the trail goes left. We're good. I think.
You can make that.
Does that meet back up, you think?
Yeah, it does. For sure.
So we are out of gas. We're gonna top off with our little cans here and hopefully make it to gas station.
Hopefully.
What are our chances?
Oh.
Man, this is a long road. We haven't seen a soul.
I know.
Not a single car, not another motorcycle, nothing. And miles and miles and miles. And we've been riding easily an hour and haven't seen anything. Probably 2. Get every drop. Every drop. We're on the home stretch, baby. We got, well, I don't know how much further we got, but we've done 1,084 miles total. 260 for the day.
260.
Yeah, it's a big day. We're gonna make it.
Okay, now let's see if I can get this thing started.
Gonna make it.
It's not even on.
No. We got about 10 miles of range on those 2 little cans, so hopefully we find gas in 10 miles or less.
I got 10 miles.
Okay. Finally, the road smoothed out a little bit. Hopefully we make it to gas. I only had to put 2.5 gallons in my tank when I was on reserve. So that means that I have at least a half gallon.
So if I take one of those.
We might make it. And I think we'll both run out about the same time if you take one of those. Are you missing? They're starting to.
No, I'm out.
Oh, you're out. Okay.
I'm out.
All right. Yeah. Let's do this. Here comes the rain, of course.
Of course.
Wouldn't you know it? We're gonna try to get a few more drops of gas. And hopefully I'm not out.
Oh, great. Hose just broke.
It's okay. It's probably long enough to reach. All right. So we'll fill up our little tank here. Our reserve. Switch it straight down, yeah. And then we'll put this in Gregory's bike. And then hopefully we don't both run out of gas. We're getting closer to town, but man, it still feels like we are nowhere. Top gear off. All right, we'll get that back on there and hopefully get back. Careful. Pull that spring off if you need to.
Did you bring a hose stretcher?
I was thinking maybe we could rob one off something here in a second if it's not working. There's a bunch of junk on this bike that's not necessary.
So close.
Yep. Think that'll do? It's gonna have to, I guess, right?
It will have to.
So you've got an extra
5 miles.
5 miles.
Based on what we've been...
Based on previous experience. Well, we knew this was going to be...
Yeah, this was going to be the limiting factor.
Yeah.
And our wonderful bottles that we had. Okay.
Don't spill a drop.
May it be multiplied.
This is all we're going to get.
Okay.
All right. 5 miles. Hopefully makes it to guess.
5 miles.
Good luck. It's a little.
Right.
Think it's enough?
No idea.
And of course the pouring rain comes.
You hold that.
Pretty typical.
Just
That's what a
what we
real
want.
adventure is all about. Hose line or fuel line broke. Pouring rain. Out of gas twice. No, 3 times. This guy here. That's the right size, right?
Which one's that?
Right here. Is that the right size?
Yeah, that'll work.
Boom!
What is that one?
That's that one I wasn't sure what it did. Some kind of vent or something.
It's your backup.
Yeah, it's my backup fuel line.
I guess that's one reason you want to strip the emissions off your bike.
Yeah, backup parts. Yeah. That'll work.
We don't want that going up, so keep it like that.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, so here's what we do.
Yeah.
We don't, if I go out,
Yeah,
don't stop, just keep going.
just roll.
And I'll
Okay. So Gregory ran out of gas again, but I got a can I'm gonna fill up, take back to him. He's only a mile away maybe. We almost made it. All of our plans didn't quite pay off. So close though. Yeah, it's like a mile at most.
Oh.
Grab your can. It's right there. So Gregory, explain to me why we're putting rain gear on top of soaking wet clothes.
It's called sublimation. It's called wind evaporation.
Mmm.
We're trying to keep.
Cut the convection out. We're not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
You got time for it.
Yeah, what do I got down here?
It's freezing.
My drawers.
Look, I was just saying. Luckily, it's a warm summer night, but it's still pretty cold when the wind's blowing.
There we go. That's what was down there.
We need those. We're sticking to the route.
Sticking to the
We
route.
gotta stick to the route. We can't
Strong.
take the shortcut home.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a coffee.
I mean, I don't know how much further we have. A little caffeine might not be a bad idea. I don't know.
Like one sugar and cream. Like
What's that?
sugar cream? What do you need?
Just black coffee.
Black coffee.
Yeah, if you're going in.
I'm going in.
He's going in. Everybody, he's going in. We're geared up. We're gassed up for the last time. We're not going to run out of gas again because we got our trusty cans. Not today. My tire is shot. It's really weird wear pattern. These two knobs are gone. The middle one is still there. Very strange. Last push. It's probably 10 o'clock. What time is it? 10 o'clock at night, probably? Doesn't matter. We're going. We've ridden a little over 1,100 miles. Still got some miles to go. What do you think?
Huh?
What do you think?
Awesome. Just what the doctor ordered.
That's good. Can't see a thing. I'm blind. Man, I can't see anything. Hope Gregory doesn't drive off a cliff, because I wouldn't know. Just driving this road by braille, just kind of feeling it out. There we go, out of the cloud a little bit. That's right. We did it. Woo! Look good. Get me off. Thing on? Yeah, it's on. We made it. My butt. Drown a rat. we made it. That fog was awful. I couldn't see anything.
That is what we were meant to do. That's what we were made for.
That's exactly what we were made for. Oh man, that was awesome. We did 1,140 miles. We made it back safe and sound. A couple of topple-overs, a few breakdowns, ran out of gas a few times. We covered a little over 1,100 miles, 1,140 I think it is, to be exact. And it feels good to be back. It was a big push today. We did 320 miles today, and the roughest roads were today by far. Let's see, what else? What do we need to talk about?
Capability of these bikes.
Yeah, so is it a good idea to have a bike like this? Let's say you're a prepper, let's say you're a survivalist type of person. Would it be a good idea to have something like this? I think so. It's a good backup for sure to your main vehicle. One, because it's super fuel efficient. We get almost 50 miles to the gallon, which is quite a bit. And then you can go anywhere on them. They're literally all-terrain vehicles. So that's the pros. The cons is you're completely exposed to the elements. It rains, you get wet. If it's snowing and cold, you're cold. And if heaven forbid, if the world does turn south and people start getting after each other, this is not going to be the place you want to be. If you got the hordes of marauding pirate biker gangs out there, this is not going to be the best place to be. But otherwise, I think it's pretty solid. What else? What else do we want to talk about? Anything else? What did we miss?
We had an awesome time.
Yeah, we had an amazing time. It was great. A lot of work. I'm tired, but it was really, really fun, and I enjoyed every single second of it. Every turn, every twist, every bump in the road. It was awesome. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up. See you next time.